Local history. Local culture. Local events. Your community. This is the Joe Kelly Show.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Our guest is Dennis Webster. Dennis, a very prolific local author. He's out with a new book. We're going to be talking about that new book. And Dennis is interested in ghosts and haunted places and things like that. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, we're going to say, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too,
Yeah,
Joe.
and welcome. I'm glad you're here. The new book, which I have right here, Haunted Central New York, it kind of keeps with your theme of haunted places in our area. What gives you such an interest?
I think because I'm a paranormal investigator in the Ghost Seekers of Central New York, which I kind of fell into that role. I was a skeptic writer, and I saw them do a presentation at Oneida County History Center many years ago, 15 years ago, and I followed them along and wrote a book, and I've written 4 more.
And you've also written more than ghost books. How many total books have you?
This particular book is my 12th.
12th. My goodness, that's impressive.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Yeah. Is Central New York, our area, any abnormal than any other place? Does some places have more of this kind of stuff? We'll get into some of this in a minute.
I would say absolutely yes.
Yeah.
I think because of the rich history here and the long millennial of many different people living in here, including the Haudenosaunee before the settlers came here, and then just such a rich history and soil that's spilled with the blood of patriots and settlers here.
You pick for your cover, and I'll hold this up. You pick for the cover, the Utica Public Library. Why did you pick that building?
It's a nice, wonderfully haunted location. I believe the Ghost Seekers of Central New York are the only people to ever investigate there, and they had some tales from the caretaker that worked there, and we confirmed it with our ghost investigations.
How do you confirm that a building has ghosts?
Well, what we do is we go in there, and in our group we have psychic and mediums, and we also use some of our technical equipment, digital recorders, thermal cameras, night vision cameras, and things like that.
I was talking to my wife just this morning about this. I'm not sure, when it comes to this kind of thing. I hate to be somebody. I'm certainly not somebody who says, yes, this is all true. But I'm also not somebody who says, well, this can't be true. Do you think that's how most people are, or?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I am. I myself and the group I belong to, we are not in the conversion business or the convincing business. Everything we do is just theory. We don't have absolutes in this line of work or in the writing that I have. When I'll know the truth, Joe, is when I'm gone. Mm-hmm. And then perhaps I'll come back as a ghost to tell you.
Yeah. What do you think's at the Utica Public Library?
We feel that it's the spirit of a former facilities person, maintenance man. Actually, there's a little catacomb down below near where the children's area is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been there.
I have, yeah.
The current caretakers were telling us and the staff that they hear the keys rattling from his big key ring. And we were actually able to pick that up at nighttime on a digital recorder, him walking through footsteps and the rattling of the keys.
Mm-hmm. And the library itself, have they ever, I can't remember them ever doing anything with that, no,
not
no
really.
program or anything?
No, we would love to do something for them there. I mean, it's just, the building is absolutely gorgeous, and that's the one thing about being a writer and doing this type of work, is you have the pleasure of walking some amazing locations in our area.
Yeah, I was over to the Utica Public Library with our crew here earlier this summer doing a show at the library, and you're right, it's a great building and it's been kept up over the years, thank goodness. Another one that you have as a haunted place is Gerber's Tavern, which dates back to 1937?
33, I think.
33.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And that's if it's not the oldest bar in Utica, it's one of the oldest bars.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's amazing place, Joe.
Yeah, what'd you find there?
They have some people that like to hang around in the bar, and you know, the gentleman that owns it, Mark Mojave, he's a well-known person in our community. Yeah. And you know, that bar was known for its Prohibition era operation. The bar itself is tipped, so if authorities were coming, they could easily drop drinks down, you know, below. But definitely a gentleman hanging around in there. Mark had talked to us about it and his staff, and we confirmed it.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you one of the ones I don't think you've ever been in the Mechanics Hall building, have you?
No, I love that, the history of that, and I heard that that's due to be either renovated or worked on. It's right across the street.
Right across the
Gerber's.
street from Gerber's, and it's a building that has a lot of history in it. You know, there's a famous picture, and I believe the United County History Center has it or a copy of it, and that is during the Civil War. They went to a lottery to draft men for the war, and the crowd gathered outside to find out if they were or were not included in the draft. And there was a gentleman who was going to pick the numbers. He was blind, so there would be no. And to make sure, they blindfolded the blind man. And then he picked. Okay. But anyway, there he is up in the window with the officials, and then down below is the crowd. So much history out of that building.
Oh, amazing. I mean, even when I wrote my book on Old Main, they mentioned Mechanics Hall in there as a place that the patients of the lunatic asylum used to bring their goods there to sell. So that was kind of like your mall of the 19th century.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that, well, we'll see what happens, but it'd be the plan that I saw that showed residences and retail operations, so that'll be nice if that comes to fruition. We're going to take a break, but we're going to come back with Dennis Webster. He's out with his new book, Haunted Central New York. We'll ask him how you can get it and how much it costs when we come back. Short break, right back. And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Dennis Webster is our guest. Dennis is out with a new book, Haunted Central New York. And when he's not writing books, and he's written 12 of them, that's what an accomplishment that is. When he's not writing books, he's working down at CABVI, Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. And what's your job down there, Dennis?
I'm the Senior Vice President of Manufacturing.
What an operation they have down there.
Yeah, amazing place. I've been there 25 years. I've had the pleasure of working for 3 different CEOs, Don Legitimacy, Rudy D'Amico, and now Ed Welsh.
And I know all 3 of them, all great guys. Where's the book for sale?
You can get that at the Oneida County History Center, Barnes & Noble, or on Amazon.
Okay, and how much does it sell for?
$21.99.
And this is a publishing house that does these kinds of books. I mean, that's their specialty, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they own Arcadia and History Press, the same publishing company, so that's their expertise is regional and local books.
And I would have been surprised if it wasn't in here, but it is in here, and that is number 3 Rutger Park.
Yes.
And that is one of the landmarks. It's owned by the Landmark Society of Greater Utica. But it is truly one of our area's landmarks. What did you find when you went in there?
Number 3 landmark, in the book I wrote our most recent investigation, which was about a year ago. And one of the investigators in our group actually saw the ghost of Roscoe Conkling's daughter. And then that's been confirmed by members of the Landmark Society in the past. Blonde, ringlet hair, blue dress, and she was standing over by the fireplace.
Did you see it?
I did not.
Seeing something like that would scare the hell out of me. I don't know.
It does.
Yeah.
Because especially when you're someone who, like I went into this as a skeptic saying, well, you know, but I was curious. I had a curiosity as a writer. And then after doing a while and you experience something, you say, wait a minute, unexplained phenomenon, or you don't know what it is.
You've got a picture of Roscoe Conkling in the book.
Yes.
One of the people who spent time there. And was there a particular area of that house that had more of a vibe than another area?
It's definitely, as you go into the front foyer to your left, the library area, the sitting area, that, and then up on the second floor, which was Roscoe's bedroom. And if you go in there, you'll see there's a very, very tall mirror, because he was a tall man. Apparently, he liked to primp and preen and practice his speeches in that mirror. So that room is also the heart of the haunting.
Interesting. We did a show there this summer as well at number 3, and we, I'm trying to think if we set up in that room or if we set up, no, I think we set up in that room.
Yeah.
The number 1 Rutger Park, any thoughts about that?
Yeah, Munn's Castle, it's very haunted. We're going to be going back in there in the near future because we want to do another fundraising event for the Landmark Society. I've done book signings there. As you know, Mike Bozak and the group there, Steve Grant, Landmark Society, God bless them, because, I mean, how many beautiful buildings have they saved in our city?
Yeah. What about when you go into a place that's not a building, like Forest Hill Cemetery? Can you get vibes out of that?
Absolutely. That's in my Haunted Utica book, yes. The caretaker there told us, and this was something that happened during the day, they had a caretaker up above, up on the top of the hill at Forest Hill, and they saw a man walking a beagle dog, and he was wondering, what are you doing here? And the person looked at him and then disappeared. So that was right during the middle of the day up in there.
In this book, you get outside Utica, and you get into what areas?
I went down to Little Falls area. We did a few. Overlook Mansion, which is an amazing place.
Yeah,
the Burrell Mansion.
Yeah.
Mr. Burrell was an inventor of farm equipment, and he built this beautiful Victorian mansion on a hill. Looks like something out of a Scooby-Doo episode. Incredibly haunted. Then I go all the way into Syracuse and Casanova. I've got the Braylock in there, which is a nice Scottish bed and breakfast, and then also the Angry Garlic, which is a haunted restaurant in Baldwinsville.
The Braylock, there's another one that's a similar name. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head, but well, I shouldn't have brought that up because I can't think of the name of it. But restaurants seem to have that vibe to it. I remember I was down to Beardsley Manor.
Oh yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
And in fact, there's a fella, and he came down. He was from New Hampshire, I believe, and he called himself the Ghost Hunter, and he had that on his license plate. And he set up all kinds of equipment and everything.
Yeah.
And we spent the night down there. He said he saw something, heard something. I don't know. I think I fell asleep at about 3 o'clock in the morning. But
yeah, it is a relatively boring activity, to be honest with you. You could have many, many hours of dull quietness with brief periods of something happening.
Yeah, of all the buildings that you've been in, and you've been in so many, what's the building that has more haunting or vibes of all that than any other?
I would say the Stanley Theater.
Really?
Utica. Yep, we've investigated that 3 times, and every time we get different things, and you get a rich amount of ghost stories from the staff and the people that work there, and just going in there. I don't know, and it's not a place where anybody lived, but our theory, because we only have theories, is there tends to be a lot of spirits hanging out there because it's a happy, positive place. Our theory, again, is that sometimes ghosts like to go to places where they have happy memories. And perhaps that's why restaurants are so popular, too.
And when you went down to the Stanley, did you get down into the I don't know what you want to call it, the catacomb?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The most haunted spot for us, or myself, which is in the book there, is the ladies' bathroom downstairs. It's got a super creepy vibe in there, and I don't know if you've ever, been given a tour and seen
I
that
have,
area
yeah.
down there. That little room where it looks like a little fireplace, all in there in that sitting room.
Yep.
Absolutely. There's something that likes to hang around down there.
The room that you're talking about, I think, is the men's room is right off of that room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What about the lunatic asylum? That had to be a big one.
Oh, for sure. Can't get in there. It's number one on my wish list, but it's owned by the New York State Office of Mental Health, and it's not exactly safe really outside of the part they've remediated to really wander around in there. So they've got a fence around it to keep people out.
Yeah, but that would be the place you'd like to go.
You betcha. That's another story of the book I wrote for that. Just an amazing place, and just the sadness of it. It was more than 100 years of people that were in there getting treated.
Yeah. Are hospitals another place that you can pick up this stuff?
Oh, absolutely. If you have a private conversation with any RN, especially ones that work the night shift, they all have stories where they see people walking down halls or going into rooms and, hey, what are you doing here? And they follow down there and there's no one there. And I've heard that quite a bit about St. Elizabeth's on Genesee Street.
The reputation now that you've gotten by writing books like this, Haunted Central New York, is that causing people to seek you out now? Say, Dennis, come take a look at this.
Yeah, we get a lot of requests and we do a lot of places, and we try to, the one thing we always say no to is people's private residences, because if we come to your home, we can't guarantee that we could steer something up, or, you know what I mean, or it doesn't really bode well for that. We just try to steer clear of that, you know. And we can't promise anyone anything. If someone says, well, I have a bad spirit, can you get it out of the house? Well, no, I can't. That's only on TV, that kind of stuff. In reality, you can't promise such a thing.
Dennis Webster is our guest. We're talking about his new book, Haunted Central New York. It's for sale at the United County History Center, 1608 Genesee Street, and Barnes & Noble and Amazon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, short break. Right back. And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Haunted Central New York is the name of the book, just out. Dennis Webster, our guest, is the author, and this is number 12 in his series of books. The another one that's in your book is and I've been in there, it's an interesting building, Masonic Temple on Genesee Street in Utica. What did you find when you went in there?
Well, it was interesting because when we talked with some of the Masonic Temple brothers, they had a man walking up right where their worship room is, up on the 3rd floor where their temple area is. Someone would be walking into the bathrooms and stuff all the time, and so we wanted to confirm that he was there. Don't know the gentleman's name, but one interesting thing happened was because Masons is a men's only organization, and one of the ladies in our group was going to walk into that room, and something slapped the flashlight out of her hand into the room where the men go only. But I was given permission that we can go in there because it wasn't open. So what Masons say is the temple is open and then it's closed. So it was inert. But she just happened to be crossing the threshold, and so we're guessing that this spirit is passed on Mason.
She didn't just drop the flashlight.
No, she said it was slapped out of her hand.
So the Fort Schuyler Club That's an
Yeah.
interesting building.
That is one amazing place. I mean, it looks so plain and humble on the outside, right? And when you walk in, it's just drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then if you go up on that third floor, we were granted permission where they used to let people sleep up
at
there,
night,
all
yeah.
up and down those rooms, and yeah, lockers slamming. And the best thing with this stuff is when you talk to staff, especially like kitchen staff, wait staff, people like that, and they tell you all the stories. You know?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the names of, my mind isn't working today, I can't think of names. But there was a famous author, so famous that I can't remember his name, who lived up north. And he split his time between New York City and up by above Boonville. And he'd come up, he'd get as far as Utica, spend the night at the Fort Schuyler Club, and then the next day go on. The bar on Varick Street is in your book as well.
Yeah, the Steve. Yeah, really nice place, really haunted. And I'm not sure if you know Michelle and her
I do.
husband Steve. Wonderfully haunted place. I talked to her and her kitchen staff, and that was a butcher shop, the Stiefvater. And they feel the one haunted location is the ladies' room, right there by the bar.
Yeah.
But you brought up earlier, you know, why do ghosts want to hang around places like the Steve or Gerber's? And I think it's, again, a theory that they love places that have fond memories, good food, laughter, you know, nice alcoholic beverage.
Well, we mentioned the Stanley Theater as having good memories, and the Capitol Theater is also in your book. And the Capitol Theater dates back there.
Yeah, that is, it's amazing the sheer number of haunted places we have packed just between Utica and Rome itself. It's amazing. And yes, the Capitol Theater is a really nicely haunted place. Art Pierce, who is the manager there, there was a man who died when it was being built. He fell to his death on the stage. So the theory is that that one particular caretaker ghost is that the spirit of that gentleman.
Shops at the Finish Line.
Yeah.
For those who don't know where that is, it's right across the street from the finish of the Boilermaker Road Race.
Yeah.
What did you find in there?
Well, when that was a part of the Globe Mills, they actually had a death in there. They had an elevator accident where a man had died in there. And that place that's one of the places that's been investigated by many different groups. And that location's on the New York State Haunted History Trail. And yeah, it's a nice place.
Churches. Talk about churches.
Yeah. We don't get into too many. You know, we've been able to get into the Presbyterian Church on Genesee Street, the one that's attached to the Molly McKinnon Mansion. We did both, but I've got in there, I did the Episcopal Church in Herkimer. And actually that church was not really operating much anymore as a church, and one of the elders reached out to me and asked me if we would investigate it. And it was very interesting because, you know, they still had some of their church artifacts in there, some of their crosses and robes and things. And we got the biggest interaction when we just touched some of this stuff. So obviously there was somebody that doesn't like you touching their things.
Yeah. Have you ever been down to Fort Herkimer Church?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Yeah, that's another place it's haunted. You know, it's very well known. You know, Herkimer County Historical Society does a lot of programs down there. You go up and down. There's just so many places that we haven't been that we would love to be.
It was a fortified church during the Revolutionary War. You still see the bullet holes that are in the side of the. Yeah. Is there a place that's on your wish list besides the Utica Psychiatric Center that you want to get into?
Oh, absolutely, the Mansion House in Oneida, the Oneida community.
Yeah.
That place is incredible. It's amazing. If you read about the age of spiritualism in the 19th century, it was started there. They actually had a seance room upstairs, which it's still there. If you go on the tour, sometimes they'll let you see it, sometimes they won't. But to me, that whole community, that building, it's just so fascinating. Are there ghosts there? I don't know, because we've never been given the pleasure of getting in there.
Yeah.
We've tried many, many times, but we'll keep trying.
Yeah. What about outside the area? I mean, you've limited yourself to central New York, but have you ever thought about going outside the area?
Yeah, our group has actually gone as far west as we did Dunkirk Lighthouse out near Buffalo. That was a lot of fun, and we've gone across the Canadian border. When you do regional books, they really don't want you to write about, a lighthouse, because out west. But I would say Gettysburg is a place that most people like to go visit, for the history, and a lot of people claim there's a lot of spirits walking the earth there.
Oh boy, that would be something to get down to Gettysburg. I've been to Gettysburg a few times, and even if you don't believe in any of this, just to go to Gettysburg is a great place. Yeah. How about New York City? There's got to be some intriguing places for you down there.
I can imagine what Empire State Building must be like. What that must be like, or even Ellis Island. I would love to walk around Ellis Island.
Oh, Ellis Island.
Yeah, you think about all of us. I know myself, my ancestors came here through Ellis Island.
Yeah. All right. Good. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
All right, Joe. Thank you for having me.
And good luck on your next book.
Thank you, sir.
And in 5 seconds, what is the next book about?
The Potato Hill Road Killer,
Okay.
Bernard Hatch.
All right. Come back, will you?
I will.
All right. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week. Don't forget SanJuanHomepage.com. A lot of good stuff there. Until next time, take care of yourself, everybody.